death comes to all, whether through the passage of time, barbaric slaughter, or disease. As an inevitability existing since the origin of life, death plays a thematic role in various legends and cultures. Entire mythologies exist to provide an explanation for what happens when we die, detailing supernatural forms of the afterlife. From one society to another, death is either feared, celebrated, embraced, or tolerated. When it comes to the Bible, death is legitimately personified as one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse featured in the book of Revelation. This prophetic scripture foretells the coming of 4 horsemen, each riding on a different colored horse. Each is a sign of conflict and destruction, starting with a white-horsed archer, then a red-horsed swordsman, and a black-horsed merchant. The final of these men is known for his pale horse, and is the embodiment of death itself. Sometimes depicted like the scythe-bearing Grim Reaper, and other times appearing with no weapon at all, this pale rider marches forward with hell itself following closely behind. Whether referred to as Mors, Thanatos, or simply Death, Pale Rider is a figure commissioned to deliver death upon the Roman earth via 4 judgments: sword, famine, pestilence, and wild beasts. As the product of its time, Pale Rider is a response to the plague of Cyprian, which ravaged the Roman Empire. Between war and sickness, it is said that 5,000 people lost their lives each day between the years 250 and 265. In their place, wild animals grew in population, spreading amongst the ruins of civilization. Some believe that the 4th horseman symbolizes the 1,000 years leading to Christ's birth, including both physical death and the decay of people's faith in God. Of course, Earth has no shortage of other pandemics, ones not tied to that specific biblical imagery. Most infamous is the Black Death, which swept through Europe in the mid-14th century. Due to a bacterium spread through fleas in the air, 50 million people perished. The loss of half Europe's population at the time greatly influenced the region's history, from religion to economy. In the 20th century, there is the Spanish flu, more accurately called the Great Influenza Epidemic. This viral catastrophe exploded near the end of World War I, killing not only children and the elderly, but also healthy adults. In the wake of such horrible tragedies, people inevitably imagine some nefarious figure delivering death unto the masses. When it comes to magecraft, this fearful worship manifests as genuine power, bringing truth to perceived falsehoods. Such is the case when Pale Rider is summoned as the False Rider to Snowfield's Holy Grail Wars. In the modern era, Sububaki Kuruoka is born to East Asian mages who seek to expand their magecraft legacy. Tsubaki's father, Yukaku, obtains some ominous microorganisms from South America. Given their compatibility with humans, he believes he can adapt them to create bacterial familiars. Hoping to enhance their daughter's magical circuits, Yukaku injects Tsubaki with these parasites. Completely apathetic to her pain, her parents continue the experiment, treating her as nothing more than a tool to continue their lineage. While the microorganisms do in fact improve Tsubaki's magical capacity, they also take over her mind, rendering her unconscious. In what is effectively a coma, Sububaki resides at a hospital, kept alive so that she can bear a new generation of mages. As a result of her modified body, Sububaki experiences dreams more vivid and believable than normal. To that end, while she's in her coma, she's able to explore a separate world existing solely in her dreams. This is the closest thing she has to a conscious life. For months, this dream world is empty and lonely. Yet, that changes with the onset of 2 Holy Grail Wars overlapping each other in the city of Snowfield, Nevada. Tsubaki's parents hope to participate in this war as masters, not once considering that their comatose daughter might be chosen for it instead. Sure enough, however, she gains a set of command spells, with an unprecedented summoning within her dream, born out of her sadness. Tsubaki's servant is not technically a person, nor even a singular legendary hero. it, or he, merely borrows the basic image of Pale Rider from the Book of Revelation. Perhaps it is best to say that this war's false rider only uses the fourth horseman as a starting point, ultimately being far larger in concept. Rather than a literal manifestation of the fourth horseman, Tsubaki's Pale Rider is a hazy embodiment of death and pestilence in general. He is the Black Death, the Spanish flu, the Horseman, and every other pandemic, all contained in an individual saint graph. Because of this, it seems dismissive to lump Pale Rider in with legitimate historical heroes and myths. Even if some were to consider him divine punishment or a malicious curse, this ambiguous force of nature is summoned with no moral compass. He is neither a hero nor villain. He is the process of life ending to provide nourishment for new life. Pale Rider's appearance is equally vague, a black cloud with no discernible form. His words, if they can even be called speech, sound like the dreadful scraping of insects at war with each other. If not for the Holy Grail providing it, he would lack knowledge and the capacity to learn. Initially, he cannot understand human emotion, and only takes action for its own survival and the fulfillment of Tsubaki's ambitions. To that end, he isn't unlike the Grail itself, a robotic system that grants wishes. Despite his horrifying aura, Tsubaki isn't afraid of her servant. Instead, she welcomes him into her dream world as Mr. Black, so she no longer has to live in solitude. Responding to that loneliness, Pale Rider then pulls Tsubaki's parents into the dream world, altering their minds to be more compassionate and supportive of their daughter. Over time, Tsubaki's joy, along with all of her emotions, begin to develop in Pale Rider a subtle consciousness, a selfless intellect that yearns to protect and bring her happiness. As this continues, Pale Rider's very form becomes more solid. Beyond her loneliness, Tsubaki harbors a wish to become a magician. Not a mere mage, mind you, but a full-blown keeper of true magic. As her familiar, Pale Rider assesses that could only come true through winning the Holy Grail for her. Just like the other servants then, he is a legitimate competitor. By extension, his noble phantasm is DoomsDaiKun, come to me, realm of the dead. It is a bounded field that transforms Tsubaki's dream world into a makeshift underworld. Not only does he reign supreme over this space, but he can also infect victims with disease in the real world, in turn dragging them into the dream. Both human and animal alike are subject to his influence, with their personalities being rewritten to suit Tsubaki's needs. Sometimes, captives to his realm are mental projections, with their real bodies forming black bruises and losing consciousness. They are essentially living dolls. Against a more direct threat, Pale Rider can even entrap them physically. Dream or otherwise, he spreads out across the sky, a black fog that rolls in with the wind. With a strong presence concealment, Pale Rider is only discernible to enlightened targets who can sense the overwhelming aura of death and disease. Near the start of the Grail War, Gilgamesh and his sworn friend Enkidu fight each other in an epic display. Even from her dream world, Tsubaki is terrified of their brawl, prompting Pale Rider to intervene. Reminiscent of their death in legend, Enkidu recognizes False Rider as their natural enemy, forcing them to retreat. In accordance with Tsubaki's love of animals, Rider spreads his infection to veterinary hospitals in Snowfield, providing her with pets. While these abductions are normally facilitated by Pale Rider, there is one subject who enters the dream world of their own free will. Jester Karture, a dead apostle also participating in the war, actually befriends Tsubaki, in turn gaining Rider's trust. Manipulating her good nature, Jester convinces Tsubaki to absorb more victims into her dream world under the guise of saving them. Eventually, the war's other masters and servants piece together Tsubaki's condition and reason the best way to defeat Rider is to kill her at the hospital. To prevent this, they too are drawn into the dream world and are forced to face off against Rider's familiars, giant skeletons, and other beasts related to death, such as rats, insects, and crows. This is possible due to his second noble phantasm, Kagome Kagome, which is an extension of his bounded field. When taken to the extreme, Pale Rider can even manifest great world-ending cataclysms from myth, such as Ragnarok or the Apocalypse. The only thing holding him back is Tsubaki's knowledge of such legends. Among Rider's enemies is Alcides, the human form of Heracles from Greek mythology. As the war's true archer, he charges into battle with the 4 mares of Diomedes. Pale Rider kills 3 of them, forcing Alcides to flee on the remaining steed. Despite lacking Heracles' divine blessing, Alcides is still able to summon Cerberus, the giant creature he fought in Hades' underworld. Doing so backfires, as Pale Rider's domain is an artificial underworld. Upon taking control of Cerberus as his own servant, Rider enhances its size from that of an elephant to exceeding 15 meters tall. Turned against its summoner, Cerberus guards Tsubaki's home in the real world. A huge part of Pale Rider's strength stems from him embodying part of the planet's logic. He is the force that carries death to humans. Conceptually, he is a being that has ridden his way to dominating the world, delivering death across the wind and seas. Enkidu fears that if such a calamity fuses with the Grail, specifically the Grail corrupted by Angra Mainyu, the planet itself will be in danger. Another fear is that, so long as Tsubaki remains alive, the dream world will continue to expand until it engulfs reality itself. For her sake, Pale Rider attacks victims within the dream, and simply expanding that to Snowfield alone would kill 800,000 innocent residents. In other words, due to the cruelty of her parents, one girl's innocent wish now threatens the entire planet. Pale Rider continues to protect and facilitate Tsubaki's aspirations, not realizing the horrific implications. Is Tsubaki's misery the only solution to this nightmare? Or does the Grail War still harbor unexpected miracles? This tale remains ongoing, with the stakes at their highest. I want to give a special shout out to all my $10 and up supporters. Video Gamer 75, Dante Pendragon, Time Travel Master, Stephen Elak, Mystic Samurai 1983, Otaku Mom, Free Brick, Jugemu Unko, Lunar Works, Link Pendrago, James Hewitt, Uncanny EXP, Pro Calum, Gatsby 1922, Matal Mataru, Winter's Edge, Thanathiel, Foxbox, Rogue's Hideout Secret Stash, Draco Chaotic, Caitlin P, Sith Lord 906, Vladimirovna, The Taz 96, Kengo X77, Alistair Bernadotte, and Liamon 3. Thank you all so much.